Hey, everybody. Um, we're entering, like, I think one of the most important parts of our book right now. Um, and let me give you a summary from last week because like I said, we're moving into a transitional part. We're talking a lot about transitional things happening with Laura and with Michael, and some things happening in Zoe's life too. Remember that she's pretending to be an octopus when she gets stressed, when she's feeling she needs to escape or she needs to find out new things, she puts on sort of octopus, um, her octopus mask or her octopus persona. So what has happened last week was her best friend, whose name is Fuchsia, she was able to meet at the rec center and they were able to play foosball and they had a great time and everything was looking really good until the next day when Fuchsia met Zoe at her locker. And she had some really, really bad news. She said that her mother wanted to move in with this new guy, and this new guy, Michael, doesn't like cats. And if you can remember, Fuchsia's favorite little pet in the whole world is her cat, Jane Kitty. So it's pretty devastating for Zoe. And then what happens, for Fuchsia, and then what happens to Zoe is her teacher keeps her after school. And I'm gonna read you what it felt like for Zoe. Zoe said, it's like my octopus body has gotten trapped in a net. Okay. And the reason she's saying that is because her teacher says to her, you have choices in your life. What you have to do now is you just have to suck it up. Okay, now this is going to be the last thing that was said before I start reading right now. Okay, so just sort of remember that. And because there's so many important things going on, I'm going to keep my reading a little bit shorter. So I'm not the only one talking because I want to hear what your reaction is to these next few chapters. Okay, I'm really interested in how it's affecting you. All right, here we go. Chapter 12. I'm so angry. I don't hear a single thing anyone says for the rest of the day. How could a teacher have the nerve to say something like that? Suck it up. What does she think I've been doing my whole life? All I want to do is to write mean notes to leave around Mrs. Rochambeau's classroom. And the Miss is probably an unmarried Miss because no one would marry a miserable person like that. I glare out the bus window as we pull out of the school parking lot. Stupid school, stupid teachers. They think they're so smart. They don't know anything. But whatever. Even when the oxygen level in water drops, an octopus can still manage to maintain a constant intake of oxygen, can still find a way to keep breathing. When the bus stops to let off the kids who live in the neighborhood near the hospital, I glance over at Silas. He's tucked into the corner of his seat, his knees up to his chest, and his camo trucker hat pulled down so low, I can't tell if he can see. Silas, who has had plenty of kids trying to make his life miserable. Suddenly, I feel bad about wishing all those nasty notes on Mrs. Rochambeau. Still, if I told Silas about all the stuff that I have to deal with, would he tell me to suck it up? Silas, I say, nothing, no response, no words, no twitches. Maybe he didn't hear me. Silas, I call louder. He's like a vault of silence. He has perfected the expressionless wall. I bet anything he's never answered a single question in class. When we get off the bus and the other kids from the bus stop have spread in other directions, I look over at Silas again, and this time he looks back. Hi, I say. Hey, he says, all normal, like his on-off switch has been flipped, and of course he can talk now. Why do people say stupid stuff? I blurt out. Like stupid, I know better than you, and you're just a waste kind of stuff. Silas doesn't answer. He's still walking alongside me, but his face has changed, like it's gone back to an emotionless wall that isn't going to let anything in or out. Silas, I say. I don't know, he whispers. Then he peels off, heads up, the couple steps to his trailer and disappears inside. Well, at least that was better than suck it up. As soon as I walk into the trailer, I remember today is the first of the month, which means a refilled EBT card, which means a stocked refrigerator, cabinets with cereal, a new full bag of chicken nuggets in the freezer. I go straight over to the fridge to examine its contents. Milk, juice, eggs, yogurt, one package of uncooked chicken, and a package of ground beef. I grab a coffee yogurt, shut the fridge, and dig in the drawer for a spoon. I take my first bite of yogurt, and it melts in my mouth like ice cream. It's like my old competent mom is back, and that mom knows I love coffee yogurt. Because when someone is doing the best they can, you just don't tell them to suck it up. The right thing to do is to buy them coffee yogurt. The walk to the pizza bit today isn't too bad because it's not windy, but the side of the road has enough puddles of semi-frozen slush that my feet are cold and wet by the time I get there. My mom is sitting at a booth with Hector in her lap, folding cardboard pizza boxes. Thanks for the coffee yogurt, Mom, I say as I reach for the baby. I slip my feet out of my sneakers and tuck them up underneath me as I slide into the seat across from her. My mom looks up from folding and almost smiles. It's a good day. Hector grabs into my cheek and it hurts, but he's so pleased about it, I let him. Did you go to the grocery store today? I asked him. Did you get a ride in a cart? Walmart, not the grocery store, my mom says. There's a spark in her eyes, the old mom kind of spark. Like that bag of chicken nuggets was $2 cheaper than anything they have at the grocery store. And that gets us closer to getting out from under that ridiculous interest rate. How'd you get all the way to Walmart? She leans forward. Well, I found out that the bus that goes by the Cumberland Farms in the morning now has a stop at the train station. So then all Hector and I had to do was to walk over the bridge into New Hampshire and up that hill to get there. She puts another folded box on the pile. And then Lenny picked us up to bring us back home in the break between his jobs. Did you get more diapers? She nods. Just a small package this time, so I can make that phone bill payment. But I feel it, Zoe. I feel like things are going to get better. I know you've been working so hard, and I'm hoping that at least I'll be able to clean your clothes for you more often. We're so close to being able to start saving for a functioning washing machine. It's like she's my old mom again, the old mom who would zero in on a project like a laser, the old mom who told jokes, the old mom who would climb into her car and step on the accelerator like she meant it. The bell jingles and an elderly man walks through the door. My mom hops up and grabs the menu. A table for one, sir, she says. Right this way, please. At one of the restaurants my mom used to work at before her teeth got so bad, it was fancy enough to have a hostess separate from the waitstaff. But I kind of like it smaller like this. It feels more like a home. Connor pushes through the kitchen doors, wiping his hands on his apron as he goes. He slows down and his face breaks into a smile as soon as he sees me with Hector and realizes my mom's already been able to greet the customer. My fabulous Zoe, he says, sitting down where my mom has been. How was your day? It was okay. The coffee yogurt and getting a glimpse of the old mom made up for a lot. Hold on, he says. A moment later, he comes back with an ice water that is a nice fat lemon slice perched on the rim. Now, do you want to talk about it? Connor leans back and pushes up his sleeves. I can see his tattoos better now. That two-way cross with all those designs around it. Hey, what's the story behind that tattoo? I say, pointing. The one that's like a cross. You got that in Peru, right? This one? Connor says, pushing his sleeve up higher to reveal all of it. I was in Costco's, and I've been backpacking for weeks. He traces his finger around the edges. I was still so raw from the fallout after coming out to my parents, and I was starting to worry. I was only there because I was running away. Hector squirms, and I shift him up higher on my lap, trying to keep him quiet so Connor will keep talking. But it was still good to be there. I don't think it's healthy to always stay in one place like this, where almost everybody is white like us. This was a place filled with all kinds of people. It's a place where brown people were once kings. He taps his tattoo. And I kept seeing this symbol all over. My Spanish wasn't great, and I didn't know any of the native Quechua. But I finally got up my courage and did my best to ask a woman selling souvenirs what it meant. Hector kept squirming, and I spread out the sweet and low packets on the table for him to play with. She said it was called a chakua, and that there are different interpretations of its meaning. Connor leans forward to me. What she believed, though, was that it represents the state in which all beings are their complete selves, and that empty space in the middle of the cross was a doorway, a portal for people to enter and fully understand how we're all children of the stars. That was the moment. He looks out the window and smiles. I wasn't running away anymore. I had run to what I needed to find. Hector knocks a bunch of sweet and low packets onto the floor, but I ignore it. I hadn't ever considered getting a tattoo before, but I had this on my arm by the time I fell asleep that night. Connor brings his arm up and gives the tattoo a kiss. Sometimes life gives you a moment like that, where everything is suddenly clear. And for me, it's good to have a daily reminder of it. A moment when everything is suddenly clear. Like when you start to wonder if maybe you do have a choice about this kind of person you want to become. Maybe. You guys, I'm going to stop right there for right now and just ask you all to just keep saying to her son. So I think you guys will like it. We'll see. Oh, it's written by Diana Hendry and illustrations by Carol Thompson. Okay, so here we go. Back soon. It's called There Was Only One Thing Wrong with Herbert's Mother. Sometimes she would go out without him. Whenever she did, she always said the same thing, back soon, and gave him a loving cuff on the ear with her paw. Okay, so there's the mother cat, and she's got Herbert under her little paws, and she's giving him just like a little hug on his ears, mother cats do. Back soon, she said, when she went down to the corner store for something she had forgotten, she left Uncle Ezra to look after him, and she was back in 5 minutes. And it shows, this is so funny, you guys. She's got a watch. I don't know if you can play that. Let me see. There's a watch attached to her tail. I don't know if it shows up, but that's where she keeps time. And here he is. He's sleeping on his green pillow and he's dreaming of sardines. It looks like he's dreaming of sardines. Back soon, she said, when she went to have her whiskers curled at the whisker dressers and was gone for hours. And big sister Emily looked after him. And big sister Emily would not play chase the yarn spool. Okay, there's Herbert's big sister. I don't know if you can even see her. Oh, where is she? Oh no, she's right here. Okay. Anyway, she's just not going to pay attention to her little brother at all. So he didn't get much of a fun afternoon when his mother was gone. Back soon, said his mother, when she went to town to buy herself a new dress and was gone the whole day. And bossy Aunt Ellen made him eat his mouse tails. Okay, there's mom. Okay, this time she's got a little fish pocketbook. You see her yellow skirt, and she's got a yellow hat on. Okay, and there's Herbert with his aunt. Okay, he's eating lunch, and she's making him eat all the mouse tails that she has up for them. And back soon, said mom, when she and his father Edward went off for a whole weekend to see distant relatives. They said they needed a vacation. Aunt Ellen, Uncle Ezra, and big sister Emily all looked after him. Okay, he is not a happy cat. So he has an idea. Ta-da! Turn the page. One day, Herbert decided it was his turn. When his mother was ironing the pillowcases, Herbert said, I'm going under the table now. Back soon. Herbert stayed under the table for 5 whole minutes. His mother kept on ironing. She did not seem to miss him at all. And there's the mother cat, and she's ironing pillowcases. I don't know if anybody in your house irons your pillowcases, but this mother does. And Herbert is under the bed, under the table rather. So we don't see him, but he told his mom he'll be back soon. Herbert tried again. I'm going up to my room now, he said. Back soon. His mother was cooking supper. Don't be long, she said. Supper's nearly ready. It looks like in the picture that she's cooking up a mess of fish. And there's the mom. She's got a yellow bandana around her head. And she's looking at the clock, and the clock has a cat face on it. Herbert stayed in his room for 10 whole minutes, twiddling his paws. It was very boring. When he came downstairs, his mother said, you're just in time. Supper's ready. The next morning was sunny and windy. I'm going out into the garden, said Herbert very importantly to his mother. And over his shoulder, when he reached the kitchen door, he said, back soon. Okay, it shows him. Okay, he's at the door. Okay, he's going through the door. And you can see there's so much sunshine outside that it throws your shadow behind him. All right. He doesn't know exactly how long he's being gone. He's going to say, I'll be back soon. It was so nice in the garden that Herbert forgot he had said he would be back soon. He pretended he was an acrobat on a branch of a lilac tree, and then he chased a stick that kept running away from him. He was just making himself nicely dizzy, chasing his own tail, when he heard a very sad voice coming from the open kitchen door. Herbert, oh, where is my boy? Cried the voice. He said he'd be back soon, and he's been gone for hours, and I'm very lonely, and I miss him terribly. And there's the mama, and she's at the door, and she's waving her yellow handkerchief, and she's hoping that her little boy cat will come home soon because she misses him. Herbert stopped chasing his tail, stood up and ran into the kitchen and back into his mother's arms. I'm back, he cried. Did you miss me? Oh, I really did, said his mother, but it's very nice having some time to yourself, isn't it? It is, agreed Herbert, as long as you always remember to come back. I always will, said his mother. And so will I, said Herbert. And there's his mama, and she's holding him in her arms, and they're both very happy. And here's the mom, and there he is. It's a close-up, and they're both smiling. So being back soon is a very important thing to say, and then to keep your word and to really be back soon, right? Well, those are our stories for the day. So now we'll have to share what kindnesses we did. So Nels can put a marvel in the kindness jar. Okay.
Thank you